So hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara. This is the Unglamorous Glow, and I am excited to be here with you today to talk about my Dexa Scan results. So let's get into it. So as you can see right there, my name is Barbara and these are my Dexa Scan results. I went through a company called Fitnescity. I don't really know how to say it, but that's the company I went through, and this is my second time doing it. So I think we should just start out. My last one, I took one in, let's just look at the test. I took one test, a Dexa Scan, in January of 2023, and my last one I took in April of 2024. So that's what we will be comparing. So I'm going to go to the dashboard here, and so what we see is that my body fat percentage is 40.17%. so it is down 1.15% from last time I took the test, which is not that impressive. I spent most of the year trying to, well, due to me not necessarily being on a strict calorie deficit, I ended up mostly maintaining. I was able to, where is that at? I was able to gain almost 4 pounds of lean mass just because I lift heavy weights, but because the food portion wasn't there, I really wasn't able to lose that much fat, but I lost 1 pound of fat. So this would be great if I was like in a more maintenance phase or at the body weight that I wanted to be at. This would be like a great place to be. Like, imagine if you're just working out, you know, and you're at your body weight that you want to be, and you're able to put on 4 pounds of muscle every year and lose 1 pound, and you really are already good. That looks great over 10 years. Over 10 years, you've lost 10 pounds and you've gained maybe 40 pounds of muscle, maybe, if that's possible, because there is a gap on, or a ceiling, a cap on how much muscle a person can put on, especially at my height, 5'4", which I'm 5'3.5", but okay, either way. Yeah, so let's get into it. That's the main things, but like, let's look at, no, this is my fat distribution, but there's a better way to look at this on here when you're comparing the test. So when we look at my body fat distribution, what changed, interestingly enough, if we go back and let's go to so we're looking at my arms. So right now my left arm has 5.4 pounds of fat and 5.7 pounds of lean muscle. And you look at my right arm, it is 5 pounds exactly of fat and 5.7 of muscle, which is, you know, my left arm is not my dominant one, so my right hand does a little bit more work, so that makes sense. But what I did already know when we look at it over here is that my left arm was not doing as much work when I was working out. Like when I'm doing a overhead press or when I'm doing a pull-up motion, my left side wasn't doing as much. So this year I did focus on that, and there was a change. You see my lean muscle in my left arm went up, because let's see if I can do it again, because if I can show you every screen at once, we're cooking with the gas. Okay, so this is my January 9th scan, and we want to look at the fat distribution. Okay, and so let's see. Yeah, so before, the lean mass in my left arm was 5.7, whereas now it's, 5.5, excuse me, it was 5.5, and this right arm has always been 5.7, or was 5.7 at that point. So now it's moved up to, because I've been like mentally, as I'm working out, thinking about the left arm needs to play a part in what we got going on. Yeah, So my waist has 5 point, well, we'll get back to that, but because it has 5.7 pounds of fat and 1 pound of lean muscle. And then my hips, 14.3, and then 20 of lean muscle. So as you can see, I have less fat on my hips than I do muscle. I'm not very hippie at all. Like I do have hip dips. I'm a narrow person in that area, so that makes sense. And then also when you look at my legs, my left leg being 6.1 pounds of fat and 20.4 pounds of lean mass, and then my other leg being 6.9 pounds, and my right leg, and then it being 21.2 of lean mass. It makes sense. One, let's say, okay, so my right leg has had surgery. I had ACL repair on my right leg, so that leg was, let's say, for at least a good solid year, very much so focused on. I went through physical therapy where that leg was like the focus. It lost some, like, it was significantly smaller after my injury, but of course I built that back up, and it makes sense that that one's a little bit stronger. But what I do now is make sure that I do my exercises with my left leg first, so that I can try to get it more balanced. And nothing's going to be, your sides are not going to be like perfect. You can try to get them as close to, and these are rounded, these numbers are rounded, so there may be some, my arms they both say 5.7, but if we were to look at it, maybe it's 5.7.333 on one and 5.7.111 on, so they're not exactly the same. But yeah, we want to get them as close as possible. I know that there's a strength deficit on my left side, so I work my left side first when I'm doing unilateral work, and unilateral work becomes important during that time when you know that you have a deficit. All right, so now let's go back to this page, and this is the dashboard. I wanted to talk about, we can talk about my bone density. So my Z score, which is the score that they came up with, you can read here. Z standard score tells us how far you are from the average population. A Z score of 0 means your bone density is average. So my Z score is 1, which means that I have a high bone density, which makes sense. And my bone density means that 95% of the women in my age and ethnic group have a lower bone density than me, so that keeps me from getting fractures and stuff like that. When you have a higher body weight, so two things that make me have that: when you have a higher body weight, your bones have to be stronger. So bigger people have stronger bones, so that's one of the things. And I also do, like, I run, I jump, I've been doing it my whole life, I lift, so that makes your bones stronger. So I have strong bones. Good for me. Oh, here was a better way to look at my right arm versus my left arm. If we look at the total body weights on those days, so you see that I did gain around 3 pounds, but I also gained about 3.9 pounds of lean muscle, or lean mass. So it's not like the end of the world how much I gained with that. And this shows you that what the total makeup of it is. I have I have 80 pounds of fat, of lean tissue mass, which is muscle, organs, things like that. So it's more than just muscle, but those things are 113. And then my bone mass is 5.9. It did not change. The only things that changed were my lean tissue mass, which went up. I was at 109 and now I'm at 113, which means it was good because I did a good job during the week. During the year of lifting weights and not losing, because I am at an age where muscle loss is an issue. I'm over 35, so you have to worry about losing muscle. So I'm gaining muscle. So there is some positive to it. I didn't make the goals that I wanted to, but there are some positives. So my visceral fat went down. I don't have a lot of visceral fat anyway. Like I have 0.85, now I have 7.9. So it's not like a terrible amount anyway. They're looking at the android fat, the fat in your waist versus the fat in your stomach to determine your fat distribution. Mine is 0.96, and for women you want that to be less than 0.8, and for men you want it to be equal to 1. So I am, like I said, a pretty, not, when you look at me you're like, girl, you're not no straight up and down, but they're narrow. So my hip to waist ratio is not that much, not that off. So yeah, my android fat, which is in my waist, is a little bit smaller than the amount of fat in my hips, which that's what you want, is it to be, you want that ratio to be wide. But because I don't carry a lot of fat in my hips, it's not that wide. But I'm like super close to being able to get that into a whatever they would think is ideal. Yeah, so that's just about like what I was just telling you. If your AG ratio is less than 1, you store more fat around the hip region. So I store more fat around the hip region than my waist, but not that much more, right? And that's more so about how my body is shaped. What this kind of tells me for moving forward, if I look at, okay, Barb, you are 40%, you have a body fat percentage of 40%. Healthy range for my age is around like 23% to 33%. So with that being said, I'm looking to go down like 7 to 10 percentage. And when you look at that, like, okay, 7 to 10. Okay, so let's say I'm 200 pounds and my percentage is 40%. If I want to go down 10% times, I don't even have to do that. 10% of 200 is 20. So we're talking about 20 pounds of fat. Only issue is you cannot guarantee that you're only gonna lose. It's just, you cannot guarantee that you're only gonna lose fat. There is an obsession, not obsession, I don't know what to call it, but there is this, you know, recomp. But if you will notice, the people that are talking about recomp, which I can show you my pictures of what I came from when I was 245 to getting to this 200, that was a recomp. But that's because I hadn't worked out in like 2 or 3 years before that. Not really, like not as lifting as hard and consistent. So when you are either a newbie or you are coming back from a hiatus of working out, or if you have a lot to lose, which I still have that one in my pocket, but those other ones, I'm not a newbie anymore. My weight, when you look at how much I'm able to lift, it is in the intermediate category. I'll have to look it up. I'm gonna look up all my lifts on here too, so we have it. But it's going, so if I'm an intermediate lifter, so I'm not gonna, it's not gonna be as easy for me to get those newbie gains that some people call recomping. It's not gonna be that easy for me to do it that way. And I may spend years of, you lost 1 pound and you gained 4 pounds, when I could just spend a year losing fat because I have 80 pounds of, well, no, you can't lose all 80. Because think about it, even if I went down to 40 pounds, if I lost 40 pounds of full fat, which you can't just lose 40 pounds of fat. Your body's gonna take from different places. But if I were to, then that would put me, you know, maybe that changes my percentage to 20%. But no, it wouldn't, because I'm going to either, even if I maintained my muscle mass, it would be a different percentage. But for simplicity's sake, let's just say that would give me the 20%, which is not in the healthy range. It's in the athletic range, but I'm not necessarily trying to be in the athletic range. I'm trying to be in the healthy range, as large as I can be in the healthy range, because I do not mind. You know, I'm already, my hips and my waist are so close together, so I'm not like trying to be super small, because I'm trying to have something, you know. So we're looking at, with that being said, we're looking at from what we know, 20 pounds ideally has to go. That's a good starting point. And when we look at my at least 20 pounds has to go. So it's like reassess it. When I'm at 180, I can reassess and see what I want to do. When we look at my body composition right now, with my arms and my arms being like equal in fat and lean mass, so I don't really feel like I need to, like, the goal right now as far as for aesthetics is not to gain more muscle. There's muscle underneath here. And some people have the luxury of their fat like laying more aesthetically pleasing on top of their muscle than others. But you cannot control how your fat lays, you know. So some people will have it lay on a love handle, whereas some people may have it right in their butt. So it looks better. It's more shapely. But you cannot predict that. So when we look at my arms, the prescription for that is you really do have enough muscle in your arm right now to have sculpted arms if you didn't have that amount of fat. So that tells me I need to lose fat. My waist, of course, I mean, my waist compared to other things is not like, I don't carry a tremendous amount, like as far as proportionally of weight in my waist. And thank goodness my visceral fat is not high, but we do want to, of course, always lose fat in the waist. I'm not trying to have abs, so really the only important thing with my core is that it is stable, able to keep me upright. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be blah blah blah, you know. Hips, there's no muscle in the hips. So I have to, the muscle is in the glutes, and then you can see muscle come through. There's the muscle that's on the side of your glute you can make bigger to make it look like you have hips. But if your bone structure is narrow, you're just gonna have those, it's gonna be a sleeper type of booty back there. But so yeah, all I can do is really work on that bum, and I will continue to do that. And that losing fat there is really not a concern for me. It more needs to shape up, and I guess I do still have to, because I do have the love handle situation to where it's not shaping my glutes. The fat is not shaping my glute as well as I would like it to, and nothing you can really do about, you can't mold the fat. You can mold the muscle under it, but you know, if you got too much fat, it still may not be able to poke through. So that's that. So my legs, I can feel my quad is huge. You can see my quad. Let me show that picture. You can see my quad. That quad that I have there, it really hasn't gone anywhere. My quad, my hamstrings, they're under there. So everything is pointing towards it's time to lose fat. I did not want to do it because it's just much easier to just work out. Let's be honest, workout is the easy part. It's the easy part. So that's the part I was trying to do. But if I really want to see results, I have to do this other part, which is the most important part. And hey, what if I can get this done in a year, and then I can spend the rest of my life playing this game of grabbing whatever muscle I can and losing whatever fat I can, like sporadically. And that's a great game when you're in a maintenance phase. It's not a great game right now when I am 40% body fat, and that's not something like I'm like, oh, I'm 40% body fat, oh, I'm nothing. No, it's just a fact. And this is me, and I love to work on myself. I love to see what I can do with myself. There is no greater project for me than myself. And not only like, oh, you're putting yourself as a project. No, I'm putting myself as this is something that I want, and let's see what I'm willing to do. I'm not willing to do what I've done in the past to get there, but I am willing to track my food. I am willing to weigh myself. I am willing to weigh my food. I am willing to look at my emotions and see and check in with myself, so that I'm not eating because I'm stressed or bored, but I'm actually dealing with the emotions. So I'm willing to do those things to see what the outcome is. So I did want to look at what constitutes a beginner versus a beginner versus advanced, all that. Let me see. Hopefully, get out of here. We want to hopefully, you're gonna have to go. I cannot see with you in my way. Okay, so this is probably for let's look at female. And for a female, the bench press, my highest recorded is 160, but I can say I can do comfortably, but also, yeah, let's do it by age and weight as well. So, because that's important too, because you bigger, you're gonna be able to lift more. So I'm 200 pounds, and so as a 200-pound person, I'm in that intermediate. I can comfortably lift 145 for sure. So I'm these ads, I know they gotta pay their bills, but okay. So yeah, I'm intermediate when it comes to this lift. Let's look at another lift. My squat is like, let's say 245. I know that I can lift 245. So as 200 pounds, we're still looking at female, 200 pounds, that will put me in the intermediate category. Can I do 272? Yes, but it's not as pretty as it probably should be. So I would again put myself in that intermediate category. And intermediate, I could be like advanced in some areas and intermediate in others. It just so happens that I'm mostly advanced. Now deadlift, I might be novice, because I do 245, it be killing me. So 200-pound girl with the 230. So yeah, I can do 245. That again is intermediate. It's, yeah. And then what other? Overhead press, honey, I'm at 90. I can do 90. I can do 90 once or twice, and that's the shoulder press. And for a 200-pound, we're still looking at female, 200-pound girl, 93. So I'm like in the novice, going towards, I can do 93 once. So, because I told you I could do 90 one or two times, two, three. I've done it. It's probably in my app that I've done it more, but that shows. So I'm intermediate all the way around. So I'm not beginner. So I cannot do the beginner type of things and think that I'm going to get those same results. It just don't work like that. So I have to do what I gotta do. You feel me? Yeah. All right. What else? So I hope that you will decide to come on this journey with me. A lot of people, you know, when you're already where you're supposed to be, and since I've done this before, I know what that looks like, of people being like, how did you do it? Well, what most people say is diet and exercise. That's how they did it. But it's like, nobody can really tell you the ins and outs of what they did day to day in 5 minutes or in a 30-minute video or in a, you know, a reply. They can't give you that. So what my goal is to put this out here and allow you people to be able to go follow what I actually went through going through this. Now, so subscribe if you want to see what's going on, what we doing, because I've already started, you know. But anyways, yeah, that's that. And the what you'll see next is me going to both visits. So you'll see me going to the first appointment, and I have like information about the company that I went through and what the process was like getting the Dexa Scan. That's all in what you're about to see, but I wanted to give you the meat and potatoes kind of before, if I choose to package it that way. I'm not sure, but I did want to kind of give you some meat and potatoes early. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. So I am 16 hours fasted. I want that information because the next time I take the test, I want to make sure that I'm around that number that can interfere with your test results up to 10% or 10% variance. You only have to be, it's only really recommended that you have to be like 4 hours fasted, but just because of when the time I need to take the test and, you know, when I woke up, it just happens to be that it has to be that it's 16 hours. And so to keep things, you know, as close, keep the conditions as close as possible, I want to make sure that I do that next time. Water doesn't really skew the results as much because it's not like the other tests that kind of do that. It's just measuring how much body fat you have as opposed to all the other things that you have, bones and all that kind of stuff. So, but you know, you don't want to chug a whole gallon of water, you know, that can interfere, but it only interferes about, well, less than 1% from the research that I did. So I'm not as concerned about that. They said wear loose, comfortable clothing. And then I saw some places that said wear like exercise clothing, so that was kind of confusing as far as leggings and things like that. I am going to wear some super thin leggings. I have this on, but I am thinking I'm going to take it off and just wear the sports bra that's under it. Woo! No, I'm going to wear the sports bra that's under it. I'm excited to get these data points. I wish I had them before. I didn't. So the work is still done. It's okay. You know, just moving forward. I'm probably going to take my next one either 6 months to a year from now. I'm thinking 6 months. Just to see where I'm at and what I can do in 6 months. I am also excited to see about my leg and the different, because I had ACL surgery and my legs were not, the muscle in my legs, the strength in my legs was not equal. The size of my legs was not equal after surgery, and even, you know, a year after physical therapy, it wasn't exactly equal. So I'm excited to see what progress I've made there as well, because I'm 2 years from my injury, and shoot, I don't know how long it's been. 2020. It's gonna be too much for me to try to figure this out right now, so I will just put it in here, whatever it was. But I'm about to go. I'll see y'all when I get back, and I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. All right, I made it to the site. I am like 10 minutes early. They told me to be 15 minutes early, but I'm 10 minutes early from the 15-minute mark, right? Yeah, so I'm early because I'm excited, and also because I'm hungry and I'm trying to get it over with. And I have been wanting to take, if you knew, people who know me, they know I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Been searching and searching for a place that does them. I mean, it's harder to find than you would think. For me it was. But anywho, that'll do a Dexa scan just for your body fat composition. probably in other places like LA and stuff like that, it wouldn't be hard. I know where I'm from, Kansas City, there's one, UMKC does, like, I don't know if they do this, but I think they do like bioimpedance at the university, because my husband has done that one there before. So, you know, there are options. Let's go. I've been through some things since I last saw you, okay? So, get in there, and I find out that, so they're like, do you have your insurance card? I'm like, no, I'm paying out of pocket. This is through a company, an outside company, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I paid like $200. I went and looked. I paid $245. She's like, oh, a Dexa scan shouldn't cost more than $150. She's like, it's $135. Okay. I'm like, well, probably the company, you know, they have their little fee or whatever. But, and also they get a doctor's prescription for, or a doctor's order for the scan for you. So they have to pay for that. So I'm sure that's what it was. But I also pay for the knowledge of that, because now I know I could just ask my doctor to write an order, and I could just pay for it out of pocket for $135. So I'll probably do that. However, well, that's what I was thinking before I went back there. Then I went back there, and she's like, you have to take off all your clothes except your underwear. And so I was trying to wear as little as possible, and I thought that I would just be having my leggings and my sports bra on. But anywho, I went in there butt naked with I had a robe on, but it just wasn't what I was thinking was gonna happen today. I thought I was gonna be in my leggings and my sports bra, and I had already conditioned myself to be okay with that. And then here we go, I was actually gonna be butt naked with the hospital gown on. But I made it. Now, she taped my feet, my toes together. I had to keep my toes touching each other. She taped them together. And it's not long. It only took 6 minutes, but it was a long 6 minutes when your toes are taped together. I came to find out that 6 minutes can get long. I was as still as possible that I could be. On the table, she got it to where she could fit my whole body in there. But when you think about it, a Dexa scan normally is for like a certain part of your body. It's not a full body. You're doing it for, you know, more, not vanity, but for something that's not diagnosing something in your body in a specific part or something like that. So, and when people are getting it for their, you know, because they want to know their body fat, they typically aren't my size. But she got me all the way in there, so that's good. I have to wait for the company to give me my results, so I hope they hurry up with that. So I would say the search continues to find a place in my area, like a fitness center or something in my area that does these kinds of scans and has their own equipment, because I would be able to get the scan, you know, and get the results, and I wouldn't have to be butt naked, and so it would just be, you know, different. But there are, you know, there's also benefits too. I know this is $135. I know where it's at. If I can get an order from my doctor, which my doctor is pretty cool. I don't know about your doctor, but she's good with it. But yeah, so as far as radiation, there is some radiation that you get through this. It's about the same amount that you would get from an 8-hour flight. So I didn't even know until reading, you know, their paperwork and stuff that, you know, that on a flight you get some radiation. So yeah, it's about that same amount, but over 8 hours versus over 6 minutes, those things might be different. I am not sure. you know. But what's done is done. I already did it, and so that's that. And I'm gonna do it again probably because I want to know what progress I make. Now, once I get down to a certain amount of body fat, like, which I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm thinking I'm shooting for, I don't know where I'm at, so I can't say where I'm shooting for. But if I had to guess, I would say that I'm somewhere in the 40s, hopefully almost in the 30s, if not in the 30s. So let's just say I think it's 40%. I'm 40% my body fat right now. And so if that is the case, I'm only trying to get to like 30, 29, just to say I'm in the 20s maybe. But I'm not like trying to go to, because I would say, you know, that's still not considered a healthy body weight for women. So whatever. But that is what that's the situation right now. Somebody almost got hit. But yeah, I think that's it. So I told you how much I paid. I told you how long it was. It was 6 minutes. I stood still. My body is stiff. I did not eat. I'm hungry. There's a place. I think it said African on it. I didn't read the rest because if I go over there and it's African food over there, I'm going to grab some. So I'm going to just go home and we got food at the house. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi. Okay, so I'm starting in the dark and I'm just so unsure about this mic. I hope that it works. But anyway, I am on my way to get my Dexa Scan, my second Dexa Scan. The last one I got February of 20. I'm gonna take this off. Yeah, so I messed up the sound by unhooking it, but if you're still here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, I did this last time. I tried to start it and I didn't really enjoy the lighting, but I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't care what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last year, which is just a creature of habit. It's so interesting. Was that an African place? You're not going over there to get nothing to eat. Just like last year, you were trying to find out, and it is African. It's an African family market. It's not even an African food place. Why are you over here trying to get something to eat? So anyways, I don't know if this is any better, but let me just tell you. Let me wipe my camera off. Maybe that'll help. Whatever. Okay, so let me turn this thing off. Are you gonna give me something? Anyway, so yeah, it is now 1:52. My appointment was at 1:30. I was a little late, so maybe it was like 1:32 when I went in there. It was literally took like less than 20 minutes or about 20 minutes. That was from walking in, paperwork, getting the gown on, going back there, getting weight, getting the height, laying on the table, her setting the table up, putting my feet together then she used a rubber band, and then doing the whole scan. She said the scan takes 6 minutes if you don't move. I guess I moved a little bit in the beginning, so we started over and still it was like 20 minutes. Things that were different this time, I didn't have to get all the way undressed. The woman asked me, she said, do you have any metal on you? And I said, maybe in my bra, because I don't know what that is. It may not be metal, but whatever. So I took my shirt and my bra off, and I had a gown on, and I kept my pants on. The last time she taped my toes together with tape. This time it was just like a band that was just really not even helping them stay together because it was around my feet. So I had to like use my muscles to keep my toes together, which it got quite difficult there at the end. So I was so glad when she said it was over. Those were the only things that were different. She said that I was 200, but that's not true. So we'll see. But she said, I guess she said the table said I was 200. So it's the same table I was on last time. So that's fine. So with that being said, it means that I've lost, or I've gained, I was just 4 pounds. It's a 4 pound difference. Because I was 196 when I took it last time. So that's good. I don't really, that's it for now. We'll see when the results come. She said she would send them over in 10 minutes to the place. So I don't know how long it takes, but I'm about to go home, get me something to eat, and try to get a workout in before I go back to work.